Announcements, none. Papers have been laid. Questions?
To us, Honourable Vice-Prime Minister, Minister of Local Government and Outer Islands, whether in regard to the Mauritius Fire and Rescue Service, she will state if consideration will be given for the appointment of a team of overseas consultants to review the operations, efficiency, equipment and training of its personnel and come up with recommendations in relation thereto.
Thank you, Honourable Leader of the Opposition. I wish to highlight that this government has continuously increased the funds allotted to the Mauritius and Rescue Fire Service. In 2015-2016, an amount of 461 million was allotted to the Mauritius Fire and Rescue Service. In 2016-2017, this figure was increased to 533.7 million rupees. For the year 2017-2018, the budget was further increased to 5,770 million. The Mauritius Fire and Rescue Service has a workforce of 944 firefighters cadre. It is organized as follows, comprising 1 Chief Fire Officer, 3 Deputy Chief Fire Officer, 5 Assistant Chief Fire Officers, 7 Divisional Officers, 11 Senior Station Officers, 72 Station Officers, 55 Sub-Officers, and 790 firefighters, including 14 female firefighters. To ensure the smooth operation of the Mauritius Fire and Rescue Service, the 10 fire stations are spread out across 3 divisions as follows. Division A, Port-Louis, Triolet, and Piton. Division B, Coromandel, Quatre-Beaunes, Flac, and Tamarin. Division C, Cupip, Mayberg, and Saint-Aubin. Construction of a new fire station at Rosbel has started. There are plans for the construction of new stations at Woodlands and Montagne Blanche. A project for the relocation of the Quatre-Beaunes and Port-Louis fire station is also under consideration. The Mauritius Fire and Rescue Services has also set up a Special Operation Division which comprises several specialist intervention units staffed by trained personnel. These units are especially equipped to deal with unusual and highly hazardous incidents where the threat to life is very high. These specialized units are the Aerial Firefighting and Rescue Unit, Hide Angle Rope Rescue Unit, Swift Water Rescue Unit, and Hazardous Material Response Unit. The operations of the fire services include, among others, to prevent, fight, control, and extinguish fires, protect persons, animals, property, and the environment against fire or any other emergency. They also assist relevant authorities in promoting safety in buildings. It should be noted that from 2015 to 2016, the number of the fire incidents and special assistance incidents attended to by the fire services increased by 18% from 9,847 to 11,752. With regards to the equipment of the firefighters, it should be noted that the time taken to repair some of the firefighting vehicles is due to the fact that the majority of the vehicles under repair are above 15 years old. These are old and highly specialized vehicles whose spare parts are not readily available on both the local and international markets. These parts have to be ordered and specially manufactured overseas and dispatched to Mauritius. In some cases, this process may take up to 1 year. Concerning the 14 firefighting and rescue vehicles which are currently under repair, the needful has already been done for the procurement and ordering of spare parts from abroad. We are now awaiting delivery of the spare parts. A wide range of firefighting, pumping, personal protective equipment, and rescue gears is available and maintained in a high state of readiness through regular tests and standard check procedures. I wish to remind the House that to improve the services, an amount of 200 million has been provided under the Indian line of credit for the acquisition of 20 firefighting vehicles and 30 million for the purchase of 2 high-volume water pumps. Moreover, another high-volume water pump is being received in about December this year. The staff of the Mauritius Fire and Rescue Service has been trained by external resource person in the following fields. First responder advanced life support from the Mauritius Institute of Health, hazmat incident by Devon and Somerset Fire and Rescue Service UK, incident command and control by Devon and Somerset Fire and Rescue Service UK, high angle rope rescue by Devon and Somerset Fire and Rescue Service. These training sessions have been held in several batches over the period of October 2014 to June 2017. It should also be noted that last year, a total of 104 new firefighters were recruited. This year, an additional 93 firefighters will be recruited and trained. Recruitment have already been advertised. I have to point out that as far back as July 2014, the then Minister of Local Government and Outer Islands approached the French government for technical assistance for a complete restructuring of the Mauritius Fire and Rescue Service. The scope of the technical assistance would be as follows: an audit of the present infrastructure of the Mauritius Fire and Rescue Service, including the number of and location of the fire station, the equipment and lorries currently available, an examination of the present institutional and organizational setup, an audit of the human resources, an assessment of the risk of the fire risk and fire risk mapping throughout the island, and an analysis of the present setup and resources available to address these risks. A meeting was held with all relevant stakeholders and the French Embassy on 22nd August 2017. Now I will pursue the matter with the current French ambassador based in Mauritius. Madam Speaker, in order to better ensure the security of the public, the Mauritius Fire and Rescue Services has already started to carry out visits in shopping malls and supermarkets. These inspections will continue throughout the month of December and the month after to cater for better security, especially during the festive season when shopping centres will be crowded. I would like to stress that this is a matter that we take very seriously. The objective is to make sure that such public places are compliant with the safety measures prescribed, which can be categorized in 3 parts: a means for escape in case of fire, a means of firefighting, and a warning system in case of a fire outbreak. As such, since Friday 24th November, the Mauritius Fire and Rescue Service has already carried out enforcement inspection in 11 shopping centres across the country. Where shopping centres are found lacking in terms of fire security, they will be served with an improvement notice. The firefighters will work closely with the owners of these complexes to make sure that they understand the measures that need to be taken to improve fire safety, and follow-up inspection will be carried out to ensure compliance with the measures. The Mauritius Fire and Rescue Services have also carried out inspection in 55 residential care homes since February 24th November and serve improvement notices when required. We realize that there is always room for improvement. That is why we are looking into the possibility of getting assistance from the French government, among other measures, to improve the work carried out by the fire services. Thank you.
My third PNQ on fire services, because I'm very concerned about the risks, especially with the coming festivities and the general laxism that exists at the Ministry and the fire services. Madam Speaker, the Honourable Vice Prime Minister seems very conversant with figures. Can she tell us last year's budget, 91 million for capital, this year's budget, 116 million, how much has actually been spent?
Well, I don't have the exact amount for the time being, but I will look at it and then inform you accordingly.
So the Minister knew how much money had been spent after so much talk. Now, Madam Speaker, I'm going to ask the Minister, Last week only, she replied that the cladding on the high-rise buildings, 100% in Mauritius, were compliant with the latest safety norms. Is she aware that in the UK, Theresa May answered that 100% of the tests in the UK were not compliant with safety features there? Now, what were the tests done by the fire service for her to be so sure that every high-rise building with cladding is safe in Mauritius?
Well, I have already given instruction to the... Well, Madam Speaker, I am in this ministry since Friday last. So, the Honourable Leader of the Opposition should understand that changes cannot happen overnight. So I need time. So I have already answered PNQ last week. So I will always champion good practice. So I am doing the needful, but I need time also. So this is logic. This is rational.
Telling us that her previous minister did no work. I'm going to table a copy of a cladding on sale in Mauritius, Madam Speaker. It burns like hell. And the minister is playing with fire when she informs his house and the public that every single building in Mauritius is safe, and she cannot tell us what tests were done to ensure that they were safe. For her information, Madam Speaker, I will tell that in the UK, the equivalent of the MSB did the test on the cladding. What tests did the fire services do in Mauritius to tell us that buildings are safe? What tests?
Madam Speaker, I have never said last week or now that all the buildings are safe in Mauritius. I have said what I have said. There is room for improvement. There are certain things which have been done. There are certain things which are in the pipeline, and there are new measures which have to be taken so that we can improve the system, so that we can have a more efficient and professional service. This is what I have said.
She said here in his Hansard, and should not mislead this House, that she said that 100% of the tests were made and they were safe. Now we want to know what this House wants to know. The nation wants to know. People who live and work in these buildings want to know what tests were made for you to tell this House that these buildings and the cladding were safe when I am tabling a copy, an actual piece of cladding here in this House. What tests were made?
Well, Madam Speaker, I will repeat what I have said already. So I have said that there are certain things which have already been done. So I am looking at all aspects, and I will come up with proposals and new measures.
Okay, this is what the Honourable Vice Prime Minister said last week. No such claddings are used in the country. We don't use it, so this is as per the officer. So I'd like her now to ask the officer again whether this is the case and what were the tests made.
Madam Speaker, if the Honourable Leader of the Opposition is so concerned about the fire service, I can't understand why, when he was the Minister of Finance, he reduced the budget. If he's so concerned, now today he's coming. Madam Speaker, it is so easy to come with brilliant ideas, just what they think that you have a magic, you will do miracles. But this is not possible. The population is not full. The population understands. And if the minister and if the Honourable Leader of the Opposition is so concerned, so how come he reduced the budget by 400,000 rupees?
La saison, pas moi ça, Lisa is over. She's picking up her salary. Every month she's picking up even a higher salary. And since she has raised the question, I will inform the Honourable Vice Prime Minister that during my time, the effective increased by 25% and budget by 40 million, Madam Speaker. Now that we've finished with the cladding issue, I'm going to ask the Honourable Vice Prime Minister immediately after this session to ban the sale, this openly on sale, this cladding in Mauritius. Ban the import of such things, ban the use of such cladding in high-rise buildings, Madam Speaker, and get the MSB to test every single cladding on Mauritius there are tens and tens and tens of buildings so that we know that our people are safe.
Madam Speaker, I have said we have to look at all the aspects. I can't understand how come the Honourable Leader of the Opposition, who is a person of experience, can come in this House and say pointless things. So he has to come with constructive criticism. He's saying that we have to do this, we have to do that.
Can you
But
allow the
I have
minister
said
to
that
reply?
I have said that we are looking at all aspects. But give us time, for God's sake.
I want to ask the Minister now about these periodic inspection reports. Is she aware that these periodic inspection reports are completely useless, in that even though the ShopRite had an inspection report, at the day of the fire hydrant was not operational, requiring lorries with water to go up and down. And the same fire hydrant was not operational at the Bohemia building. Not the same. Similar fire hydrant was not operational. And we know about fire hydrants, Madam Speaker. It's basically a huge tap for the fire services to take water. These two fire hydrants were not working. And these inspections are useless. And this is why we need, sorry, just to finish, overseas consultants.
Madam Speaker, I have to laugh. Everything is useless. We are doing nothing. It is the leader of the opposition is so clever. That's why he's on the other side of the house. He's so clever. He knows everything. I have said, Madam Speaker, I have said in my reply last week that there are a number of things that we will have to look at. Do you think I can do miracle? I have said that there are certain equipment which need repairs. But we have to understand also that those equipment, they are not only old, they dated more than 15 years. They are old, they are specialized equipment, and those vehicles, the spare parts cannot be brought in Mauritius. So we have to order it abroad. They have to be manufactured and then dispatched to Mauritius. So all these need time. Now the leader of the opposition, he has put a PNQ to me yesterday, and last week, and he's coming with a new PNQ. I am replying. I'm stating facts, but everyone would understand that I can't do miracle. Okay.
This is a motion de blame against her predecessor, but still, she is talking about figures all the time. Can she tell me what is her budget for maintenance of firefighting equipment this year, and why it has been reduced by 1 million since last year? Tell me that.
Well, you should have come with one sub-question in your PNQ, or you come with a substantive question. I will answer to you, Madam Speaker.
This is the second time.
Madam Speaker, I am stating facts. So if the leader, I will be more than happy to answer to this question. But you come with a substantive question. Your question is general. You can't now come with specific question when I don't have the facts and figures.
She's the one who's mentioning figures all the time. Now she doesn't know her own budget, what it is. She knows my budget 4 years ago. Madam Speaker, if she has so much money, why haven't firemen been issued with new uniforms for the last 2 years? I have seen firemen with holes in their uniforms.
Madam Speaker, this is not to my knowledge. To my knowledge, I have been informed that all personal equipment have been given to the firefighters. So I'm not aware of this. Whether there are holes in their dress, I am not aware of this.
At least aware that morale is very low in the fire service. This is why we're getting so much information. Morale is very low in the fire service because, firstly, no uniform, and secondly, because allowance for lead firemen, which is due to these firemen, have been fighting fires for years, have not been given. In Mauritius has not been given. In Rodrigues it has been given. Why is morale so low in the fire service?
This is not to my knowledge. This is not true. If the leader of the opposition has something in writing communicated by the firefighters that their morale is low, so he has to produce it, and then I will look at it and answer.
Can I produce a moral? I think she's joking. Madam Speaker, I want to ask.
You continue in spite of my
Speaker.
warning.
I want to ask the Honourable Vice Prime Minister. Doesn't know anything so far. Eh? She's been 2 weeks in the job. I know more than her about the fire service.
Of course you need
Madam
to know
Speaker,
Please.
Madam Speaker, I want to ask the Honourable Vice Prime Minister, from what I read this morning in the paper about the undermanning in the fire inspection service. Only 13 people for field work for the whole of Mauritius. She must have read that. What did she do when she read that this morning? Has she arranged for an increase or just nothing at all?
Madam Speaker, every week, same charade. You know nothing, you are doing nothing. But let me inform the leader of the opposition that I am higher than this. Je me suis réveillée d'un bon pied, d'un bon œil. So I am doing my work. So I'm stating facts. I am serious, and I have said that there are certain things which have to be looked at. Of course, the leader of the opposition knows better than me. Of course, I am new in this ministry, only 1 week. And the leader of the opposition is 10 years. This is not arrogant. When you answer, Madam Speaker, Madam Speaker, when the leader of the opposition put question, when I answer the question, he said I am arrogant. So people know me. People know how I am. So, yeah, everything except I'm arrogant. So,
yes.
Humility comes with ignorance, not arrogance.
This is out of question.
Madam Speaker, I want to ask the Honourable Minister, Vice Prime Minister apparently, she told us last week, she told the Honourable, Chihuahua, keep quiet. Keep quiet, she told us last week, Honourable Vice Prime Minister.
you have to withdraw what you have.
Yes, sit down. Honorable leader of opposition, please sit down. I believe this side is saying that you said apparently she is the vice president. So please just withdraw this apparently.
She's enjoying a very higher salary now. We know that. Still no work being done. Madam Speaker, she informed us last week that this famous one remaining turntable ladder was working. She told us that 2 days later there's a big fire, 8th story Bahimia building with no fire certificate. And where is the turntable ladder? It is broken down at the garage at the supplier. Why did you tell us last week that the machine was operational when clearly it was not?
Speaker, what were the honourable leader of the opposition doing during those past 10 years? So, what were he doing? If he's so much concerned, you put the question, now let me reply. Please allow me to reply. So, I think the leader of the opposition should watch his language. So, I will ask the leader, before answering, I will ask the leader of the opposition to withdraw what he has said, apparently. The Vice Prime Minister.
Withdrawn already.
Okay. Yes, Madam Speaker?
No, I said this has been withdrawn.
Okay. So I have said, Madam Speaker, so I am looking at some aspects. I have said that there are certain measures which have already started. There are certain equipment which are under repairs. There are certain equipments which we have already ordered from abroad. We are recruiting new firefighters. We have increased the budget. Inspection.
Time is going. I only 6 minutes left, I think. And she's going on. I asked a specific question. That ladder was not operational when she replied here that it was operational. That's all I asked.
Well, I understand that the ladder was operational after servicing.
Madam Speaker, on that date it was not operational, and don't challenge me because otherwise I will produce the information.
Well, if it was, Madam Speaker, if it was not, Madam Speaker, if it was not operational, so it was not operational, so then it has to undergo repairs. It has to undergo servicing because those equipment, so there is wear and tear, and there is a usual usage. So if it was not operational, so it wasn't a repair. So what can I do?
Speaker,
I have said, Madam Speaker, that we are looking at all aspects, because we all agree that we need to have a more efficient and professional service, but to reach there are certain things which have to be done, and I have already started consultation with all stakeholders concerned, and we will look at all the aspects.
she informed the House that the ladder was operational last week, whilst most of last week, until Friday, that ladder was not operational. Now I come to something else, Madam Speaker. Is she aware, she's apparently in charge of that ministry, is she aware that, she talked about the high volume pump, that there are lots of questions about the procurement of this high volume pump, and that a letter has been sent to ICAC. I will table that letter, and the letter has been sent also to her ministry to talk about lots and lots and lots of issues, apparently corruption, I said apparently, regarding this high volume pump. Is she at least apparently aware of this letter?
This is not to my knowledge. No, I'm not aware of this. If you can table the letter, you table the letter, and then I will look at it.
She's apparently not aware. Also, I see CC, myself, and the permanent secretary of her ministry, Madam Speaker. Is she talking about the service? We talk about different things, huh? About the service. Is she aware, for instance, that the Port Louis, where we've had people die in flooding, that the Port Louis firemen, who we all love firemen, they have no life jackets. Even now, it's so much millions, hundreds of millions, and no time for purchase of life jackets for Port Louis firemen.
Can the leader of the opposition just inform the House since when the firefighters do not have jacket? I'm not aware of this.
Leader of opposition, you have 3 more minutes for your question.
Madam Speaker, let me see from the officers if they have the answer.
Please.
Yes. No, they don't have for the time. They say that yes.
Yes.
Speaker, is the Honourable Vice-Prime Minister aware that, I will use that word apparently again, she likes so much, that the fire hydrant at ShopRite, which is now reopened, that fire hydrant, is it now repaired? Is it now working? Because it is open and it was not working on the day of the fire. Is that something that she has cared to worry about?
Well, I have said with regards to ShopRite Mauritius Limited, there are 3 inquiries which are ongoing. So let's wait for the outcome of the inquiries, and then we can decide on.
This is that's nothing. Don't hide behind any inquiry. The ShopRite is open now.
Yes,
I want to know whether the fire hydrant is operating now.
Well, Madam, they don't have the fire hydrant, but they use the water from river.
Speaker, how can we reopen ShopRite shopping center? Thousands of people flocking there with no fire hydrant operating. How can that be done?
Well, Madam Speaker, we have issued a new fire certificate to Trianon Shopping Park, but at the same time, we have listed a series of equipment which they will need for the good operational of the said commercial center, and we will see. We have given them a delay to procure all the equipment, and then we will see. We will have another inspection and see.
Speaker, is the Honourable Minister aware that apparently most of the air compressors belonging.
The last question.
Last question?
This is the last question.
Oh, this time has come so quickly, Madam Speaker. Most of the air compressors at the fire service are not working. And were it not for air compressor belonging to the airport, there would have been a disaster at ShopRite during the fire. Is she aware that most of these air compressors, despite her millions that she has, apparently, not working, and that the 20 floating pumps which have been purchased for inundation, if they come, God help us, also not working? Is she aware that this is the state of the current fire service at the moment?
The officers have informed me that it has already been repaired, but with regards to the previous question which has been put to me, I understand that the ShopRite has its own fire hose. Yes, it has its own, the building itself.
Judge, we're not talking about the fire hose, but because Chiola, because the fire hydrant, which is the tank of water with an outlet.
Okay.
Madam Speaker, I have said that it does not possess of a fire hydrant, but as I have said, Madam Speaker, so we are looking at all the aspects and then see to it that, Madam Speaker, I have said there is always room for improvement. There are things which has to be improved. We are doing the needful, but I find it strange, you know, the leader of the opposition was on this side of the House for 3 years, and then during those 3 years, he does not find it necessary to come with those ideas. I think if those ideas should have been there 3 years back, so we would have been far.
Time is over. Honorable members, the table has been advised. Silence, please. The table has been advised that PQB 850 in regard to the credit facilities granted by the Bank of Mauritius to the National Property Fund will be replied by the Honorable Minister.